The cave mansion that Emperor Qing rented was located in the inner city of Yulan City, which looked ordinary from the outside, but once inside, the space was enlarged by more than 10,000 times. Luo Feng and the other three walked in together. "I'll divide the space first," said Emperor Qing as the massive interior space naturally split into sections, with two small spaces at the corners, a common courtyard in the middle, and the remaining space split into two equal halves. "You can decide how to build the interior space yourselves," Emperor Qing instructed. "I choose the left side. Then I'll take the right side." Emperor Ming and Di Fu, without any objections, actively chose the two corner spaces. Without any cost and being able to follow Emperor Qing and brother Luo He, they had their protection. What more could they hope for? They clearly understood that without Emperor Qing and brother Luo He, their survival in the city would be much more difficult, by hundreds or thousands of times. "I will send you detailed intelligence on Yulan City for your perusal," said Emperor Qing as he walked towards his part of the space alone. Emperor Ming, Di Fu, and Luo Feng each entered their own spaces. "The place is not bad." Emperor Ming sensed the speed of energy absorption. "This absorption rate can reach 30% of my maximum speed. Not bad, I'm stuck at a bottleneck in strength anyway and my requirements for energy are quite low. Generally, maximal energy absorption occurs during rapid growth periods. Once the limit is reached, only a minimal amount of energy is absorbed to sustain life. The space is quite large." Luo Feng looked around the spacious area, and with a thought, energy began to converge and formed various palace buildings such as wine pavilions, quiet rooms, guest halls, and more. He then stepped to the highest part of the pavilion, happily took out a pot of wine, and while drinking, studied the intelligence on Yulan City. Yulan City is autonomously governed by cultivators. Yulan City is ruled by the Elder Hall, which currently has 3 Hall Masters and 327 Elders. Once you reach either the late-stage Divine Emperor Enlightened One, or half-primordial level combat power, you can apply to become an Elder. If you can partly drive Yulan City's defense system, you can become an Elder. If the driving extent is very high, you can even become a Hall Master. Luo Feng looked at the intelligence. Every Elder needs to enhance the defensive capabilities of Yulan City. The Elder Hall is really making contributions. Luo Feng observed the details closely. Once one becomes a member of the Elder Hall, they need to reside permanently within Yulan City. This ensures the city's defense. They cannot leave Yulan City. And those who can become members of the Elder Hall are strong enough to venture into the dark sacred realm. Every half-primordial powerhouse certainly aspires to break out of the braided cage, and only in the dark sacred realm can they find more opportunities to do so. Yet, members of the Elder Hall usually stay in the Nine Rivers sacred realm and do not step out of Yulan City at all. So, those who can become members of the Elder Hall typically have avatars. They merely leave one avatar here. Their other avatars have already gone to the dark sacred realm, Luo Feng speculated. Having an avatar itself implies that the core rulers of Yulan City, the Elder Hall members are probably all from the source world. Luo Feng deduced a lot of information. The strong from the myriad worlds who lack avatars and have sufficient strength are not willing to stay in the Nine Rivers sacred realm all the time. Living in Yulan City, cultivators need 1 primordial crystal every epoch. They also need a residence. All places of residence in the city can only be rented. Luo Feng understood. These fees are the official income of Yulan City. They need to support a group of law enforcement cultivators. They need to maintain the city's defense system. The leftovers are then distributed among the 3 Hall Masters and 327 Elders. This income must be very substantial to attract these powerful beings to keep their avatars here for a long time. Inside Yulan City, below Divine Emperor level is mainstream, amounting to hundreds of millions. Divine Emperor level, there are several million. Luo Feng looked at the intelligence. Among the Enlightened One lineage, those who can perceive a complete Great Tao generally don't find it difficult to become a Divine Emperor. But those who rely on their bloodline, while they might seem to grow easily, their growth's limit depends on their bloodline. If the bloodline isn't strong enough, they might always be stuck at the ultimate level of a godly king. Yulan City has intelligence organizations selling all the Divine Emperor's information. This intelligence costs 10,000 primordial crystals. Luo Feng was alarmed, he could not afford it. Moreover, the intelligence collected about these Divine Emperors might not be fully comprehensive. For example, since Luo Feng had just arrived in Yulan City, naturally, there was no detailed intelligence on him externally. Brother Luo He, Emperor Qing's voice came from afar. He approached the entrance of Luo Feng's space. Brother Emperor Qing, Luo Feng immediately opened the entrance. The intelligence on all Divine Emperors in Yulan City, quite expensive, isn't it? Emperor Qing came over and smiled. But even this can only gather information on about 90% of the Divine Emperors at most. Because there are some who quietly break through as Divine Emperors, and if they don't reveal themselves, it's difficult to learn their information. Even the information being sold only records what can be detected. Many Divine Emperors have hidden methods, Emperor Qing said, but no matter what, you might not need to buy it in the short term. However, over time, it's better to purchase a copy. Buying a copy of the intelligence lets you know about all the formidable existences hidden in Yulan City. It lets you know who not to provoke, Emperor Qing explained. Luo Feng understood. This intelligence is expensive and also contains a secret heart spell, prohibiting its dissemination, said Emperor Qing, so I cannot pass it to you. Luo Feng understood that gathering information on all the divine emperors in the entire city was no easy feat. If they sold merely a few copies, it would spread throughout the city. That would be a huge loss for the intelligence organization. Yulan City has abundant commercial and trade resources, Emperor Qing stated. Here, primordial crystals are needed everywhere. I'll lend you 100,000 primordial crystals for now. You can pay me back after our hunt, said Emperor Qing as he waved his hand, causing a pile of 100,000 primordial crystals to fall beside him, glittering like brilliant crystal jade. Seeing this, Luo Feng was truly moved, allowing him to stay in the cave mansion for free, even allocating half of the space to him. If one were to calculate the price, half the rental cost for 1,000 epochs would also be 50,000 primordial crystals. Felt like a gift, and now lending him so much. Just arriving in Yulan City, he was indeed at his poorest time. Emperor Qing, thank you, Luo Feng said without much ado. We just arrived in the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm. We're all in our greatest need of primordial crystals at this time. With primordial crystals, we can buy enough resources to strengthen ourselves, Emperor Qing said with a smile. Remember, when you go out to buy resources, Emperor Qing suddenly said earnestly, carry fewer primordial crystals with you each time. In Yulan City, with enough temptation, murder, robbery, theft, all sorts of things can happen. Even if you have life-saving means, but if the treasures are robbed, the loss is still substantial. I understand, Luo Feng nodded. Emperor Qing's intelligence already included detailed records. Murders and robberies occurred occasionally, while thefts and scams, since they didn't involve life-threatening situations and official punishments weren't too severe, were even more common. Carrying less means even if you are robbed, it's just like paying tuition, Emperor Qing sighed. The methods of theft in Yulan City are diverse and include tricks from various cultivation systems, many of which you have never seen before. Luo Feng nodded slightly. Only after familiarizing himself with the intelligence did Luo Feng leave the cave mansion alone to explore Yulan City, which he would be inhabiting for uncountable years to come. Heeding Emperor Qing's advice, he was very cautious and only carried 5,000 primordial crystals with him. With all 5 of my avatars complete, I don't believe I can't protect these 5,000 primordial crystals. Luo Feng tread carefully, not bringing any other secret treasures. The most valuable thing he had was the 5,000 primordial crystals. For this journey to the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, Luo Feng had energy reserves worth 1,200 times that of a perfect divine body. The energy reserves left in the land of origin were minimal, but back home he was already invincible, and the avatar energies were sufficient. The 1,200 times perfect divine body energy reserve, LuoFeng's 5 avatars collectively had 200 times perfect divine body reserves, enabling him to reach his limits under normal conditions. The moment Luo Feng left the cave mansion, various colorful protective systems enveloped the entire Yulan City, controlled by 3 Hall Masters and 327 Elders of the Elder Hall. Invisible and colorless fluctuations regularly swept across the city, and at this moment swept past Luo Feng too. In the core area of the inner city, there lay a huge cave mansion. Deep inside the cave mansion, a figure bathed in light sat there, his entire body seemingly forged from light, expressionless. A red diamond-shaped gem was positioned between his brows. Inside the diamond gem, massive amounts of information were being rapidly processed. Information about all the divine emperors throughout the city was being collected. New member entering the city, Luo Feng. Residence, 99179 Cave Mansion, Tianshui District, Inner City of Yulan City. Strength, suspected early stage of Divine Emperor. He shares a cave mansion with Emperor Qing, suspected to be from the same source world. Information about Luo Feng was among it. While this information was collected, it was also relayed to another mysterious entity. Inside a huge cave mansion in the inner city area of Yulan City, a massive spherical organism occupied the space. The surface of the spherical organism occasionally showed faces that were either howling, sleeping, filled with hatred, or laughing, and the surface also featured numerous holes. Countless holes through which figures came and went. Luo Feng, a new divine emperor in the city? Living with Emperor Qing, he must not be poor. Let this newcomer feel the customs of Yulan City. He likely follows the most common system of the enlightened. We can let him experience the power of other systems. Mo Yada, this is up to you. A command was quickly issued. A short figure flew out from the numerous holes of the spherical organism. New divine emperor at the early stage? The short figure chuckled weirdly, and at that moment, their organization had already locked onto Luo Feng, who couldn't hide anywhere in the public areas of the city. The short figure went straight for Luo Feng's location. The merchants of Yulan City mainly operate in the inner city. Shortly after Luo Feng left his cave mansion, he arrived at a nearby merchant's. The interior space of the merchants was very spacious, with independent spaces, each displaying low-level primordial life remains for exhibition. This esteemed guest. An attendant proactively approached. I'll take a look first. Luo Feng wasn't in a hurry to buy. He planned to tour the entire city before making a purchase. The attendant smiled and said, Esteemed guest, our business specializes in low-level primordial life remains. These remains can be used for cultivation insights. Some large remains can be used for artifact refining, alchemy, body refinement, and even for extracting complete primordial bloodlines. There are quite a number of remains. Luo Feng observed the densely arranged independent spaces with more than 10 attendants waiting in various places, with formations also in operation. We have a total of 11,341 types of remains here, all low-level primordial life, the attendant by his side continued. Our business has collected at least 70% of the low-level primordial species from the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm. LuoFeng's biomimetic eye of destruction was already open, carefully observing each piece of remains. The cultivators of Yulan City employed various methods of observation. As long as they didn't break into the independent spaces to grab the remains, the attendants wouldn't mind any manner of observation. Innate primordial life, black cloud devouring space beast, at the strength level of the early stages of Divine Emperor, is considered rather weak, Luo Feng observed. Here there were 12 parts of the black cloud devouring space beast for sale. Some parts, like a scale, a bone, or a vial of blood, suitable for cultivation insights, were priced at only 100 to 500 primordial crystals each. However, for items like a large intact claw, the major tendon that ran through the entire body, or a refined complete bloodline, these three materials were all priced at 20,000 primordial crystals. The most valuable was a complete life core, which required 100,000 primordial crystals. This innate primordial life has a life core that's actually intact? Luo Feng was somewhat surprised. Innate primordial lives have life cores. Just as the source world has the source ground, this life core is like the source core of innate source life. Once destroyed, they would perish, which was the most common method of slaying them. It was quite rare to slay one while preserving the life core. To think that an innate primordial life would be disassembled and sold like this. Luo Feng secretly sighed, with bloodlines being extracted, used for alchemy, artifact refining, used in various ways. But this was also quite normal. Cultivators groped their way in the dark, wanting to escape the confines of the braided cage. The best way was to study these innate primordial lives that had already escaped the confines. Luo Feng strolled from one shop to another. No matter where he went, with his life aura reaching that of an early-stage divine emperor, the attendants of these merchants were very enthusiastic. Weapon secret treasures. Luo Feng also saw the prices of various secret treasures. For those early-stage divine emperor secret treasures, they were generally used by those at the ultimate realm of godly king. A casual strike from Luo Feng was much more powerful than those secret treasures. Prices for secret treasures generally started from 2,000 primordial crystals. Middle stage divine emperor, late stage divine emperor, perfect stage divine emperor. The prices of weapon secret treasures naturally skyrocketed at different levels. For innate secret treasures, the prices were even higher. It turns out I'm quite rich. Luo Feng was secretly shocked when he saw the prices of innate secret treasures, realizing the expensiveness of the innate secret treasure palm world. Of course, this treasure was partly used to protect the Blade River sect, and on the other hand he was still too weak to bring it with him. In any city of the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, there are those who kill, plunder, and steal, an attendant said. This space-related secret treasure, Illusion Realm Maze, can be integrated into the body. Treasures hidden inside, hardly anyone in the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm can steal. Many powerful divine emperors almost all have one. Illusion Realm Maze? Luo Feng looked at this secret treasure. What's the price? Not expensive, 100,000 primordial crystals each, and this is the unified price throughout the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, the attendant said with a smile. Luo Feng turned and left. Those divine emperors with a bit more accumulation could afford it, but Luo Feng had just arrived in the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, and the 100,000 primordial crystals he had were lent to him by Emperor Qing. Why would he use them to buy a space storage item just to prevent theft? There are also many treasures that assist in cultivation. Luo Feng looked at one after another rare treasure. The treasures of the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm were all extracted from the essences of various innate primordial life creatures. Consuming them would aid in cultivation. Their effects were far superior to primordial crystals. But the better the treasure, the higher the price. This secret treasure is called Wuxiang God Weapon. It can imprint any secret pattern. As long as you imprint precisely, it can immediately mimic any kind of secret treasure. With it, you can try to imprint one after another different secret treasures, able to change at will. The attendant explained eagerly, it is suitable for battle on one hand, and on the other hand, it verifies cultivation insights. Luo Feng's interest was piqued. His own insights into the deep patterns of the Star Tower and the Eye of Life and Death could all be tried for imprinting. What's the price? Luo Feng asked. 50 million primordial crystals each, the attendant grinned, giving a number that made Luo Feng's heart tremble. More expensive than many innate secret treasures. Luo Feng couldn't help saying, many perfect divine emperor-level secret treasures are only several million primordial crystals. This price could buy an entire set of perfect divine emperor-level secret treasures. The attendant smiled and said, those powerful divine emperors, many possess world-level primordial life remains. To grasp the mysteries of the remains and imprint them on the Wuxiang God Weapon. To verify their own enlightenment. This is not something a set of perfect divine emperor-level secret treasures can compare to. Luo Feng sighed inwardly. Too many temptations. Treasures to assist cultivation, some suitable remains of innate primordial life related to life, destruction, and even integration of life and death, as well as some suitable secret treasures. Luo Feng had seen a lot. But he was too poor. No hurry, the first day is purely for strolling around Yulan City, I'll make my move on the second day. Luo Feng had strategic patience and one day's wait didn't matter. He discovered that some famous secret treasures like Wuxiang godly weapons and Illusion Realm maze had uniform prices across many merchants. However, for remnants, prices varied between shops. Some were willing to sell at a lower price. Luo Feng had to consider how to get the right cultivation materials for himself at a lower price. Poor too poor. Don't even talk about 100,000 yuan of primordial crystals. Give me 1 billion yuan of primordial crystals, it still wouldn't be enough. Luo Feng was flying within Yulan City, and at a glance there were many cultivators around him, but Luo Feng didn't notice a small figure in the distance. The small figure in the distance, upon seeing Luo Feng, couldn't help but chuckle. Luo Feng? A newcomer at the early stage of Divine Emperor. The small figure had an idea and immediately made a move. Luo Feng was flying above the inner city, an area with hidden dragons and crouching tigers, with hundreds of elders maintaining the defensive systems of Yulan City, and various defense systems in operation, which also put pressure on Luo Feng. Buzz. It was as if a breeze brushed past Luo Feng. What's going on? Luo Feng was startled. It seemed like a breeze, but something felt off to Luo Feng. It's as if someone made a move against me and yet not. Luo Feng himself was uncertain as he slightly furrowed his brows and looked around, becoming more vigilant and on guard. The small figure in the distance was quite surprised. This new guy, how is he not quite like the traditional enlightened? He has a bit of the feeling of a low-level primordial life, having cultivated his body into a world body, with a world hidden inside, treasures all kept within that world. Although primordial bloodline cultivators might explode with stronger combat power and have formidable physical bodies, their control over themselves is not that perfect. Luo Feng's body gave the impression of an entire complete and vast world. While maintaining stealth, his secret technique swept across Luo Feng's entire body but was unable to forcefully penetrate a whole world. Thinking that by hiding in a world I won't be able to do anything? The small figure let out a cold laugh, opened its mouth and a blood-colored bug flew out. Good treasure, go into his world and take all the treasures. The small figure controlled the blood-colored bug with a thought, and struck again. Quietly stealing had failed. Then it would forcibly steal. Whoosh. The blood-colored bug instantly disappeared from sight, ignoring Luo Feng's physical body and burrowed into his inner world. In the distant sky, Luo Feng, who was on high alert, immediately sensed it. Back in the land of origin, he had cultivated 9 forms of primordial bloodline creatures and had chosen 5 of them. They were also his 5 avatars for facing various dangers in the 9 Rivers sacred realm. What he usually manifested outside was one of the 5 avatars, the World Avatar. This avatar was thick-skinned and fleshed, immensely strong with tenacious life force, capable of handling many harsh situations. This avatar had an inner world. It was the closest to the world life form lineage. The more energy it possessed, the greater its power. Therefore, the World Avatar has 100 times the energy reserve of the perfect divine body, while the energy reserves of the other 4 avatars weren't so high. Shoo. An invisible fluctuation instantly burrowed into the inner world, and the inner world naturally sensed it. The stronger the World Avatar, the more stable the inner world. It's quite stable, but too bad my treasure excels at devouring space. The blood-colored bug instantly unleashed a wave of energy, sweeping across the entirety of the inner world, trying to take away all the treasures within. Inside the inner world, at this moment, the other 4 avatars sat cross-legged, each of them bearing Luo Feng's likeness, just with different colors of robes. The Heaven and Earth Avatar snorted coldly, instantly dissolving and merging with the entire inner world. Merge with Heaven and Earth. The world membrane was as if it was the flesh of the Heaven and Earth Avatar, their mysteries perfectly integrated with the world, and their might surged dramatically. This. The blood-colored bug felt the already terrifying inner world suddenly increase its pressure and binding force by more than 10 times. To it, it was as if it had been in water before, easily moving through it. But now it was as if it was trapped in glue, completely stuck. His inner world has no treasures? The blood-colored bug used its secret technique to sweep the entire inner world, but found that it had come up empty. Trying to steal? The remaining 3 avatars inside the inner world all looked at it. The 5,000 yuan of primordial crystals were carried by the Time Avatar. The Time Avatar existed simultaneously in the past, present, and future. The 5,000 yuan of primordial crystals were currently on the future body of the Time Avatar. The 5,000 yuan of primordial crystals I have are hidden in the inner world and protected by the Time Avatar. And they are hidden with the future body of the Time Avatar. The inner world is also guarded by the Heaven and Earth Avatar. If they are still stolen under these circumstances, I have nothing to say, and I'll just consider it paying tuition. Luo Feng had been warned early on and was naturally very careful and vigilant. Who said he is a traditional enlightened? Seeing that things were looking bad, the blood-colored bug immediately concealed itself and disappeared. Boom. It slammed into the membrane of the inner world, but was unable to break out. After the inner world and the Heaven and Earth Avatar merged, the sturdiness of the world membrane increased more than tenfold. Not good, I can get in but can't get out. The blood-colored bug immediately realized that it was in trouble. Buzz. 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 The blood-colored insect vanished and reappeared repeatedly, trying to penetrate the world's membrane wall. Yet each time it was blocked by the thick and sturdy membrane wall. I've heard that theft is common within Yulan City. Seeing it today, the theft techniques are indeed impressive. The three Luo Feng avatars within his inner world watched the blood-colored insect and smiled. "Let me out and I won't bother you again," the blood-colored insect said while floating in the air. "Haha, you choose to steal when you wish, try to invade my inner world when you desire, and now you want to leave?" The three Luo Fengs looked at the blood-colored insect. Too late. The blood-colored insect was furious. With a flutter of its 6 pairs of small wings, it vanished instantly, reappearing near one of the avatars. This avatar was one of Luo Feng's 5 types of avatars, the Heavenly Light Avatar. The Heavenly Light Avatar is the most indestructible among the 5 types of avatars. Its body is like a divine weapon secret treasure. Luo Feng places great importance on this avatar, but it cannot withstand a high perfect divine body energy reserve. The more energy it has, the more the Heavenly Light Avatar will collapse and condense, requiring higher demands on the spiritual will. With a one-time perfect divine body energy reserve, the Heavenly Light Avatar has collapsed and condensed once. With a 3 times perfect divine body energy reserve, the Heavenly Light Avatar has collapsed and condensed for the second time. With a 10 times perfect divine body energy reserve, is the most powerful form that Luo Feng can maintain now, having collapsed and condensed 3 times. As for a stronger form, Luo Feng's spiritual will cannot make it collapse and condense further. Boom. The blood-colored insect, itself like a secret treasure, collided with the Heavenly Light Avatar. Like 2 secret treasures colliding, neither sustained a single scratch. What? It's clearly the weakest avatar in terms of energy? The blood-colored insect was surprised. Seal. The Heaven and Earth Avatar merged with the inner world. At this moment, a vast heaven and earth energy formed into a colossal grinding plate, one of the life and death Tao Ultimate Realm secret techniques created by Luo Feng, the life and death grinding plate. The huge grinding plate completely trapped the blood-colored insect, attempting to crush it. However, the insect's body, like a secret treasure, was not afraid of being crushed. Not good. The blood-colored insect was trapped within the colossal grinding plate, continuously pressed but unable to escape. Luo Feng, do you really want to? The blood-colored insect roared angrily. Luo Feng frowned upon listening. These theft forces indeed have impressive intelligence networks. He had just entered the city and registered basic information today, and already the thieving cultivator knew his name. The nearby causality avatar immediately executed the curse-killing technique. Luo Feng's 5 types of avatars: World Avatar, Heaven and Earth Avatar, Time Avatar, Heavenly Light Avatar, Causality Avatar. The Causality Avatar, with its acute sense of causality, has a natural advantage and is suitable for causality-related secret techniques. Luo Feng then created a technique using the Life and Death Tao, an Ultimate Realm secret technique, Absolute Life Termination. This invisible causality curse killing primarily targeted the blood-colored insect. In just a moment, the blood-colored insect let out a piercing scream, its aura weakening significantly. Stop. The blood-colored insect immediately spoke out. A small insect that can withstand my strike? Causality Luo Feng was surprised. Let's try again. I surrender. The blood-colored insect hurriedly said. This blood-colored insect was one of the 3 great life-bound insects he cultivated at great cost. If a life-bound insect died, he too would be severely injured. The key was that his theft technique largely relied on this insect. Surrender and you think you can just leave? The 3 Luo Fengs looked at it simultaneously. I am willing to compensate, the blood-colored insect said with reluctance but nodded obediently. Although the life-bound insect seemed like a secret treasure, the curse-killing technique was quite effective against it. With another blow, the life-bound insect's consciousness could be extinguished. How much can you compensate? A small amount I won't bother with, Luo Feng said. I'm willing to compensate with 10,000 primordial crystals, the blood-colored insect said. Luo Feng sneered, this insect of yours is not an avatar, yet it resembles one. It's much more precious than ordinary divine weapon secret treasures. I don't ask for much, just 200,000 primordial crystals. One less and I'll kill it now. 200,000 primordial crystals? The blood-colored insect exclaimed. That's too harsh, asking for so much. You have 3 breaths time to consider. If you don't agree within 3 breaths time I'll kill it. Luo Feng didn't waste words with it. He had visited too many shops before and had seen similar insects, learning about the cultivation requirements from attendants. From the exchange, Luo Feng estimated that the total cost to cultivate it would start from 300,000 primordial crystals, possibly even reaching 500,000 to 600,000. 3-2. Luo Feng looked at the blood-colored insect. Fine. The blood-colored insect said grudgingly but ultimately agreed. Give me some time to prepare. I will deliver the primordial crystals soon, the blood-colored insect said. You know where my cave mansion is, right? Luo Feng said. Later, send the primordial crystals to my cave mansion. You give me the primordial crystals and I'll give you this blood-colored insect. Receiving the primordial crystals outside, Luo Feng still worried about being ambushed. It's safer to receive compensation in the cave mansion. Fine, the blood-colored insect could only respond in grief and indignation. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng stopped browsing and immediately turned into a streak of light, flying towards his own cave mansion at an extremely high speed. This was a deal involving 200,000 primordial crystals, and naturally Luo Feng had to give it ample importance. How come I have to compensate 200,000 primordial crystals? The small figure in the distance gritted his teeth, yet he was powerless. Clearly, there is an issue with the internal intelligence of the organization. This Luo he has unfathomable methods, and it's too difficult to deal with the numerous avatars acting together. He also quietly left to prepare the primordial crystals. What? You were robbed, and you trapped a peculiar insect from the thief. Emperor Qing looked at Luo Feng quite surprised. That insect was quite formidable. It sneaked into my inner world without a sound, but although it got in, it can't get out. Luo Feng smiled. Purely relying on the inner world certainly couldn't stop the insect. But the heaven and earth avatar was best suited for merging with a world, and that was how he trapped the insect. Without sufficient compensation, I would just kill this peculiar insect. You've just arrived at Yulan City and he already knows your name. This indicates that the force behind him is likely connected with the elders of the Elder Hall. Emperor Qing pondered and said, of course, to target a newcomer like you, an elder would not be so idle. At most, it's an order from their middle ranks. Brother Luo if you take these 200,000 primordial crystals, they will start targeting you, Emperor Qing said. Do you think I shouldn't take them? Luo Feng looked at Emperor Qing. The stealing force is nothing to fear, Emperor Qing said with a smile. We who come out of the source world have avatars. Other than high-level primordial lives, what is there to be afraid of? Just be mentally prepared, they will play dirty tricks on you in the future. Luo Feng nodded. Strong individuals who come out of the source world have avatars in their homeland source world. When adventuring in other worlds, it's usually just the avatars that die in battle and treasures are lost. It's only beings who have escaped the braided cage that can contaminate their souls and cause their death across the source world. Adventuring out in the world, even if you're careful to hide, there will always be those who actively seek trouble. This small issue is not worth mentioning. Luo Feng didn't care. Since the other party made a move against him, they had to pay the price. A moment later, a visitor arrived at the entrance of the cave mansion. Here they come. Luo Feng and Emperor Qing both went out to meet the guest. A black-robed figure stood there, the interior of the black robe filled with mist. This mist twisted and observed Luo Feng and Emperor Qing. Luo Feng, right? The black-robed mist twisted as it spoke. Are you sure you want 200,000 primordial crystals? You can choose not to give them. Luo Feng looked at it. Emperor Qing also calmly observed the black-robed mist. Strong individuals from the source world have a hint of pride in their bones. If it really comes to a life-and-death fight, who would be afraid? Very well. The black-robed mist nodded and suddenly a pouch flew out from the mist. You check it. It contains 200,000 primordial crystals. Luo Feng reached out to receive it, his consciousness penetrated and searched it, and he nodded to confirm, correct. Immediately Luo Feng thought, and released the imprisoned blood-colored insect from his inner world. As soon as the blood-colored insect came out, it immediately disappeared into hiding. The black-robed mist turned and left. I was ordered to target Luo Feng, but this time I failed. I cannot be the one to compensate the entire 200,000 primordial crystals. The small figure joined the black-robed mist inside the large spherical creature. The black-robed mist glanced at its subordinate and coldly said, observing the prey is the most basic ability. Your failure is due to your own lack of skill. The small figure was quite frustrated. Theft failure is normal. Running into tough opposition, getting caught, it could happen. But such an occurrence, the cost was too great. This time he lost a full 200,000 primordial crystals. Remember, do not completely trust the intelligence, said the black-robed mist. He took so many primordial crystals from me just like that? The small figure was somewhat unwilling to let it go. Emperor Qing is from the source world, and this Luo Feng must also be from the source world, the black-robed mist said. Do not easily act against divine emperors who come out of the source world. It's not worth it to act impulsively just to feel good for a moment. The small figure was quite upset. It's my loss. Of course you don't feel the pain. Wait for the opportunity, wait for the right opportunity. Strike once, and make that Luo Feng really regret and feel the pain. The black-robed mist glanced at the small figure. Killing a few avatars of a strong individual from the source world doesn't really hurt them. We must steal their true treasures. You should keep a close watch on that Luo Feng. Once you discover information about his important treasures, immediately inform me. After a successful move, I'll give you a 10th, instructed the black-robed mist. The small figure nodded. He was already looking for prey, naturally he would pay extra attention to Luo Feng. Just arrived in the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, the thing I lack the most is primordial crystals. Luo Feng was quite pleased with the 200,000 primordial crystals. Added to what Emperor Qing loaned him, it amounted to a total of 300,000 primordial crystals. He could afford to be a little extravagant now. Immediately, Luo Feng began a large-scale purchase. Every time he went out, he would not carry more than 5,000 primordial crystals, spending 3 days to carefully observe, making purchases numerous times, spending slightly more than 190,000 primordial crystals to acquire everything he needed. It's time to start closed-door cultivation. Looking at the many resources piled in front of him, with the most being the remains of the innate primordial life. Some were a bottle of blood, some a feather or a bone. He bought more than 300 portions of such remains, with an average price of about 300 primordial crystals each. Compared to the mysteries contained in Star Tower and Eye of Life and Death, the mysteries contained within these low-level primordial life remains are simpler. They are slightly more profound than a complete Great Tao but easier to understand. Turn these resources into strength. Luo Feng began his calm cultivation. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.